Primordial survival consciousness. Hypothesis. Just think. If the first formed cell had a consciousness not as complex as humans but a simple one, and is always similar to normal consciousness, it would have a survival instinct which led it to manipulate the bodies of organisms behind wires while they live with the superficial consciousness of control over voluntary action and thinking. It made our body evolve. It does our body's involuntary function, and etc. It is not a consciousness which can think like us, but it is something with only one goal, that is survival. Abstract idea. The primordial survival consciousness hypothesis, PSCH, an ancient non-reflective form of consciousness originating with the first living cells, whose sole purpose is survival. This consciousness orchestrates involuntary biological functions and subtly guides evolutionary adaptation, while higher-order cognition, intelligence, and wisdom emerge as secondary byproducts. The PSCH provides a unified framework to examine how survival-driven mechanisms might underlie complex behaviors across all living organisms. Introduction to the topic. Current understanding of consciousness primarily focuses on cognitive abilities such as perception, reasoning, and self-awareness. However, life itself is driven by survival mechanisms present in even the simplest organisms. This paper hypothesizes that these mechanisms are not purely chemical or genetic, but may reflect an underlying ancient form of consciousness. This primordial survival consciousness is non-reflective, incapable of thought, and operates solely to maintain and propagate life. Hypothesis. The first living cells possessed a simple consciousness, dedicated entirely to survival. This consciousness regulates involuntary biological functions, including metabolism, growth, repair, reproduction, and response to environmental stimuli. Over evolutionary timescales, it indirectly shapes adaptation and survival traits, guiding evolution without conscious reasoning. Complex behaviors, intelligence, instincts, and wisdom in all living organisms are emergent byproducts of this survival-focused consciousness. This consciousness cannot fully control higher-order cognition. Its influence is limited to the biological foundation upon which voluntary and reflective processes arise.